confident stuff for Legacy thus far, and a win here on Horizon Lunar Colony could result in, or would result in, a win for Legacy to start things off in week 2.
Well,
put themselves on the board.
Look at this, we really are rolling out with the Wrecking Ball. To be fair, Jordan, this is where Wrecking Ball comes from. This is where Hammond escaped. Let's see how he plays out here. Now is his chance to return. Return with a vengeance, Jordan. Look at that. Pole driver straight down into the thick of things. Staying alive is Addy. And, well, the Junkrat's the first one to go down. That is not what Kraken wanted to see.
It's a super powerful combo, the Winston and the Wrecking Ball. If you're able to get that pile driver onto multiple players, Winston jumps in as well. And he does damage as he lands as well. And it is just such a large amount of burst and damage across the entire enemy team. It can be very problematic. Legabrill should go down here, but just survive a little bit longer than anticipated. Addy as well, mind you, he literally landed on top of a Junkrat trap.
Yep.
He's going to have to be forced out of the mines.
Wow, I actually thought the mines were going to be used on Objective B. Not the case. Going to drop them here on the very first point. Just trying to get this across the line. They are ever closer. But look at that. Carroll Koala out on the Widow. Finds Sleep Easy. And maybe Kraken are bringing this back.
There we go. They finally got the job done, Legacy. It's capped out.
Took like 30 minutes.
Yeah, and it took a lot of ultimates as well. That was the objective for Kraken, to waste a few ultimates. What I wanted to say was Addy got stuck in a Junkrat trap, but because of the way his shield works, if he's in the middle of multiple players, he gets like up to 1,000 HP with that shield. So even though he's stuck in the middle of so many players and he's sitting still on a Junkrat trap, he still does not die. And so much focus goes into him that does not go into the rest of the team. Great dive from Legacy. They were forced to use a couple of ultimates, but they're going to continue diving in.
Great work coming out from Addy, right into the thick of things once again. You can see literally all of Kraken up the back left-hand corner. Crimson Wolf almost going to go down before getting back into the mech after using the self-destruct. This time maybe going to be a little bit less lucky. The D-mech comes out. Dragon Strike comes through, Dragon Blade almost available, but it's Legacy who have been getting the kills here, Jordan. Kraken bring a couple back, up to 50% right now. That's a big pick, though.
Yeah, double sniper at the moment, not really working out too well against the dive comp that Legacy is running. Now we've seen the change up onto Sombra. I wonder if Addy will continue. I guess he does have the minefield, so he probably wants to stay on the Wrecking Ball here. But Wrecking Ball can very easily be shut down by Sombra. As soon as you get hacked, you're out of the ball mode, and you're literally just running around as a big fat guy that really can't do anything apart from shoot. And to be fair, his guns, they're not too bad, but really a lot of the effectiveness of Wrecking Ball does come from the crowd control abilities that he does have, and if he can't use them, no point having him.
Right into the back line, looking for a kill or two. A little bit unsuccessful there, but Dentry goes down to Sleep Easy. Carroll Koala does bring one back, but Carroll Koala now quite low as well. Sleep Easy going to get forced back there and will get picked up. So Legacy on attack, maybe not getting the success that they want to find. Legabrill does go down, though. Still the objective contested. They got very close to 2/3 before. Unfortunately, that meant that it did drop all the way back to that first third right now. Addy fighting it out, finding a kill, but Dench picks up Cinderella. Addy, once he gets hacked as well, really cannot do all that much.
I think it might be time to swap off the Wrecking Ball now. It does seem to be having a reasonable amount of an impact, but you could argue that at this point, Isaiah would definitely be having a little bit more, and that is going to be the option of choice for Legacy. So back to the tried and true. I like what Legacy was trying to do there, and it almost worked out, to be fair, on that first push, but just didn't have quite enough sticking power. Once that initial pile driver comes in, once the initial burst comes in, the Wrecking Ball isn't quite as impactful. Carroll Koala now around the back with the EMP.
I'm ready for it, Jordan. I'm ready for a big play coming out from Carroll Koala here. He gets all the way behind the team, manages to throw that EMP out. That might be enough for Legabrill to come through and push the rest of the team back. Between them, Kraken will sort of settle this down just a little bit. But you can see the ultimates, even for the moment as well. So Legacy have lost that momentum that they originally had.
Definitely. The ultimate's being built up by Kraken a little quicker than Legacy right now. Special Kid with the Nano. It's pretty important. See if that's going to be the make or break here for Legacy. Cinderella can get a big one, perhaps, or mini even.
Ready for a big self-destruct from Crimson Wolf. We have seen some big D.Va plays so far today.
Oh, it's Addy.
Yeah, right in the thick of things there, Jordan. Going to get that nano boost. See whether it works out or not. Gets quite low, actually going to be forced back as well. AVRL picks up Ana. And Kraken holds strong. It looked like maybe Legacy were going to find something, but it will not be successful. 2 minutes 48 on the clock. Legacy will need to regroup.
Yeah, it's no longer that super imposing time that it could have been. If Legacy finish it off now, Kraken won't be feeling too bad about themselves. Caramel Koala has to translocate out. But you can see what Legacy is looking for now. It's the hole-in-one.
I'm ready.
Zaya and D.Va to combo. And they've got Rally, they've got the sound barrier coming up shortly for Thunder Kitty as well, so Legacy should be fairly healthy in this fight. Speeding along through, getting close to the point.
They certainly are. Maybe going to try and take the high ground. We'll see if that plays out. Graviton Surge on defense, though, comes through. Cinderella and Special Kid both go down. And Kraken follow up, maybe not with all of the ultimates, but with a lot of damage.
Fair enough for Legacy. Luckily, Thunder Kitty had not used the sound barrier beforehand, so all they lose out of that fight really is the rally. They still have the grab and the self-destruct available, so it's going to be more of the same from Legacy in this fight. The only thing different is that there is no rally now. Special Kid has gone over onto Moira as well, which I think is in response to the fact that Legacy are trying to push through these closed quarters, as opposed to out in the open.
Yeah, they were trying to be a little bit safer, and of course now that there is no grab available here for Kraken, this might work out a little bit better. Straight onto the supports, though, is where Cinderella goes. Whether that works out or not is an entirely different story.
Here it comes.
Graviton Surge waiting for the self-destruct to come down. Finds one. AVRL goes down as well. And that may be enough here, Jordan. And self-destruct will come out on defense from
Mini's popping up.
But it's not going to have the impact that they need. Crimson Wolf, the last one remaining. They should be able to pick up the D.Va. We'll see. They will, one by one, drip onto the point. But Legacy are in prime position, particularly now with this Coalescence, just to clean it up and capture the point. Yeah,
Dench will try to buy some more time. In fact, actually walls himself away from the point and slides on, but it's too little too late.
Oh well.
It was a futile effort, really, in the end. But not too bad of a defense from Kraken. They've kept Legacy to 51 seconds, which is not an amazing time. Definitely beatable here for Kraken, but what we saw on Hollywood leads me to believe that Legacy will be able to pose a reasonable defense to start things off. They were pretty solid on the first point of Hollywood, and then certainly very solid once it was into the second phase of the map. But talking about capping points here, of course, on Assault, so I think it lends credence to what we saw from Legacy on point A. Very similar defensive setup. In fact, it might be almost the exact same. I think it is. Farah this time, of course, for Kraken. We won't be likely to see it too much on Horizon Lunar Colony. But this time, the onus is very much on Sleep Easy, as it is the GOATS composition coming out once again for Kraken. So they're going to be bunched up into a ball, Dench onto Moira. A lot of AoE healing out from Moira. Does mean that they do not have the Zenyatta, so it'll be a little more difficult for Kraken to punch through some of the high HP targets of Legacy.
I was ready.
But
I was excited.
With that said, Legacy are not running a GOATS comp of their own, so maybe the Zenyatta not so necessary here. A little bit easier to kill a Soldier and a Junkrat and an Ana than it is to kill a Brigitte and a Zarya and a Reinhardt. And even a Lucio, to an extent, is a little bit more survivable than a few of those Legacy heroes, but we'll see what Kraken can manage. Name of the game is get this one done before Sleep Easy builds up a Riptire. Otherwise, that's where your problems start.
Yeah, that's where it gets real tough. For sure, Jordan, we've seen a lot of good Junkrats here on the defensive side of Horizon Lunar Colony. Now they're going to play the high ground or not.
Oh, no.
Dear, oh dear, oh dear. Brigitte, the first one down to the Soldier.
That's really nice from Addy.
With free reign.
He's very solid on the Soldier. His tracking phenomenal. And Ago just not aware, not behind the shield. And an easy pick for Addy to start things off. That's nice. It's just a nice little bit of time wasted.
Yeah.
It's not going to cost Kraken too much, to be fair, but Legacy, it's just a nice momentum build-up.
It is indeed. Kraken now going to walk onto the point. We'll see who decides or who needs to jet down there from Legacy to try and contest. For now, no one's actually on the point to contest. It's Kraken getting a free 50% to start things off. But it's all about the fight win. If Legacy can get down there and pick up some kills, it will not even matter. It's getting close, though. Someone has to commit at some point here for Legacy on defense.
Yeah, Sleepeasy's not having too much luck building up the Riptide, but we'll get rid of a go. Needs to be on the point here. Someone needs to be on the point, and nobody is.
Dear.
Legacy were losing the fight anyway, but they have been completely wiped, and Kraken is going to walk through that front door. It is completely open right now. Legacy are not even off the respawn, and already Kraken is on 2 point B. This will be a tough defense now for Legacy.
Yeah, looking to get that 1/3 to kick things off. You can see the Earth Shatter is available as well. Going to knock them back for now. Yep, Sleep Easy finds the Brigitte as well.
Addy's in a perfect position here. Attack Visor coming up soon, Ben.
Going to need it potentially here, particularly if you can get rid of that Baby Diva before the DMAC comes through. But it does not even matter. Legacy just doing enough here, Jordan, to force Kraken back. Really, it felt like Kraken did outplay Legacy on the first point. They got so much for free in that scenario.
I think Addy aims better with the Soldier normally than what I do when I have Tactical Visor.
Is that not saying much? Though?
Unfortunately, he's going to swap off. That was, I mean, I enjoyed watching Addy play Soldier there, and he did have Tactical Visor up in a great position there in the last fight, but to be fair, you do want to have the Zarya. Legacy Esports, tough hold again for them here as they don't have too many ultimates. Grabs up for Caramel Koala. Eyes on Mini again, looking for the eat.
Yep, 2 big picks to start things off as well. 1 tank, 1 support gone now for Legacy. Addy goes down. Self-destruct comes through. Are we going to find anyone? The answer is no. Mini back into the mech will do what she can. But you can hear with the Junkrat as well, just trying to hold on for absolutely as long as possible. Cinderella grabs Surge into the middle, finds 1 or 2 in that. This is definitely less than ideal for Legacy.
Yeah, it is. Addy's not going to be able to get much done there on Doomfist, getting the DMAC, but that is about it. Nano boost onto Sleep Easy. Again, not too impactful. Special Kid will drop. It is just the trickle here for Legacy. Thunder Kitty coming out now. Cinderella, no more Primal Rage, of course, for him. Legabrill starting to build up to that Earth Shatter, and this should be Kraken inevitably catching it out. Legacy with a big timer.
Yeah, a ton of time on the clock. I'll have to wait to see just how much we've got to work with, but whatever it may be, Jordan, it is way more than the 55 seconds that Legacy had. 51 seconds even. There you go. Back up to a minute now, but 4:46. This is not looking so great for Legacy. Kraken, on the other hand, they've taken their halftime seriously. They've had a bit of a break. They've regrouped, and they're looking like they are now in fine form.
Well, you got a minute, Legacy. What are you going to be able to show us here? Will it be the Winston Wrecking Ball dive once again? It seemed to be pretty impactful on the first point for Addy. Onto the Zarya. Maybe thinking long-term here. If we get the first point and we have a Zarya, we'll have a grab for the second point, or just about have a grab. I think for Legacy, the win condition here is obviously you need to get the first point capped up, but I don't think that 1 point is going to be enough. I don't think you can hold off point A for 4 minutes and 46 seconds. You need to be getting almost all of point B capped up, if not all of point B capped up for Legacy here, if they're to have a chance. They will swap back to Addy on the Wrecking Ball, though. And Sleep Easy with Genji. So even more dive potential this time.
That was so close, to be fair, the first time around to having a very quick Objective A onto, you know, almost free reign into Objective B. They were just slowed down just enough to make life a little bit more difficult. This time, if they can successfully execute essentially the same strat, it might be enough for them, Jordan. Look how much room the hamster can make in that
missed
scenario.
the jump. He actually fell down. Either he got booped back or what, I don't know. But not a perfectly executed dive this time from Legacy. And once it gets to this point where Addy's just having to fire away with his regular guns, he's not going to be as impactful as when he's diving in with the pile driver.
Nope, and they're all going to get forced off here. Potential for both of these tanks to go down for Legacy if they're not careful.
Nano boost out from Thunder Kitty, though. Built that one up very quickly, and that'll give the advantage to Cinderella.
Wow, look at that. Dench went for the sleep, but a little bit too slow on the click, unfortunately. Cinderella coming through, picking up 1, picking up 2. Self-destruct does get used. Oh, 2 big kills as well coming out from the Soldier. Go doing some work.
Sleep Easy's at 94% of the Dragon Blade. They need to touch. They need to get this Dragon Blade off. Self-destruct will come out here from Crimson Wolf, but he will at least be able to get that one kill. Can't climb the wall.
Hello?
At least there's someone else there to touch. Was hacked up from the EMP, which does mean that he can't use the wall climb ability, but it's enough for Legacy to cap out the first point. They're going to have 30 seconds to get into the second. We've got Transcendence, we've got Primal Rage, we have Self-Destruct.
Yeah, this is almost enough to do something, Jordan.
I don't know that it is, though, Ben. There's going to be a Bastion, there's going to be a Tactical Visor for a go. Of course, Leverett as well will have Valkyrie, not to mention, can get those reses across.
They're playing it smart. They're looking for just one fight. They know that's all they've got, so they're going to make the most of it. Use every last second.
They don't know the
Self-destruct from Legacy pushes through.
Oh, Mini!
Mini, you are insane! Is this going to be enough? Karma Koala gets left as well! Oh my gosh!
I do not understand how Mini continually is able to find so many impactful self-destructs, but that might now just be winnable for Legacy Esports. Addy up to 55% of the mines. Caramel Koala is back and they'll have to deal with him. But for now, Caramel Koala is absolutely a non-factor, doing absolutely nothing at all. Legacy are continually pushing on to this point. A second tick now capped up as Sleep Easy gets rid of Caramel Koala. Mines onto the point and Legacy will cap out. Oh my goodness me.
How is this even possible? That was incredible. And as much as I don't want to say, Jordan, that we're going to see another Diva self-destruct as our Macros play the game.
I mean, that has probably got to be the most impactful self-destruct so far today.
Yeah.
Even when you look at, there's been bigger self-destructs. There's been ones that have gotten 4 or 5 kills or whatever. But that one actually allows Legacy the chance to cap out, where they otherwise really probably should not have had. There was a huge crossfire. There was a Soldier with a Tactical Visor, a Bastion on the other side. Kraken, they would have thought for sure that they're holding that one with absolutely no problems. But time and time again, Mini coming up with the massive, massive self-destructs, and Legacy, they've given themselves a chance now, Ben. Onto the defense, 446 to hold off Kraken. At the very worst, what Legacy want now is that Kraken will cap it out in overtime like they did, and that'll result in a draw. And then, of course, Legacy wins the series.
Yeah.
But there's still a lot of work to be done for Legacy. They'll be riding on a wave of momentum right now after capping out. That was their win condition, but they still need to execute their defensive side.
They do indeed, and considering that they struggled to attack the first time around, you know, when I say the first time around, their first attempt at their second shot, right? They didn't get very far. They missed the jumps. It just started to go a little bit awry for them. But now they managed to capture both points again. They are on 4. Kraken are on 2. Now the pressure is here on Kraken. 4.5 minutes to capture both objectives. Actually quite difficult, to be honest.
Oh, wow. Sleep Easy is charging up the Riptide so much faster on this defense. It's already started off better for Legacy. Look at this, 86%. This is dangerous for Kraken. If they spend a lot of time capping up first here, the second point we've seen can be so problematic. Legacy didn't even really get to post a defense on the second point. That was the problem in their first defensive phase, but doesn't seem like that'll be a problem here.
Riptide already available, and this will stop this right in its tracks. Look at that. Legabril, Caramel Koala, both down. Sleep Easy continues to push forward, wants to stagger this team. There you go. Brigitte picked up as well. 3 from 3. Big plays from the Junkrat.
Yeah, now we're going to start cycling ultimates as Legacy. Addy has got himself the Dragon Strike, and Dragon Strike, you think, it might not be that impactful without the grab combo, but Cinderella does have Halt, and 1 Halt could be enough. If the positioning is correct for the Dragon Strike, it could really cause problems.
Yeah.
Goats Comp, of course, they want to group up. A lot of damage done there by Addy, but no kill.
Just waiting. They really don't want to use too much.
They got him.
Yeah, Leverett, the first one down. Now they've lost their speed. They've lost some healing as well. And Sleep Easy follows it up.
Yeah, Sleep Easy's almost up to another Riptire already. This is going so much worse for Kraken.
Yep. This is not what you want to see, though. Still 3 minutes on the clock. We know that Legacy managed to capture the second objective with only 30 seconds. They got Objective A in overtime. So anything is possible here, but this is not going Kraken's way. They need to get Objective A. They need to get this first point. Otherwise, it's over.
Agreed. There are Kraken under the pressure a little bit here, Ben.
Mate, you said it wasn't funny when I said it.
Yeah, but it's funny when I say it, so
not
it's
if you
okay.
copy and you're bad.
But Legacy, so many ultimates right now available to them. It almost seems impossible that this is going to get capped.
Oh, they have to fight it right here, and they're going to get forced straight off. The Dragon Strike not doing all that much, but it doesn't matter. It is disrupting the entire team, and Crimson Wolf has been demeched. Legacy, they have all of these ultimates to work with, and Sleep Easy with yet another Riptire.
There needs to be a big one here to keep things alive for Legacy. We'll manage to get Crimson Wolf. Caramel Koala did drop in the meanwhile. Here comes Cinderella with the Supercharger and the Nano Boost.
Supercharger Nano Boost. That's a pretty strong Orisa right there. And that's precisely what they needed in Numbani in the story, Jordan. That would have stopped all of the problems.
Indeed, but it's going to stop all the problems that Legacy have got at the moment, as Kraken will be forced away once again. Now a minute 49 left for Kraken. Still not the end of the world. Legacy did it with less Ben, but right now Legacy are being able to stop Kraken in their tracks. Kraken haven't built up any advantage. They haven't got any ultimates really to work with here. Sure, Primal Rage, sure. Self-destruct, but is it going to have enough of an impact for Kraken to be able to push through?
It has to have an impact, and they have to go soon. 90 seconds on the clock. Legabril with Primal Rage available. Going to hold this left click as long as possible. Up to 300, up to 400, getting so much heals. I thought we were going to see the Primal Rage early, but for now, not needing to be used. There we go, finally pops it, holds the left click, pushes through, finds one, Dench finds one as well. They will capture Objective A. They're going to have 1 minute 30 here, Jordan, to push through the second objective. Will they have the advantage? That's the real question.
At least Legacy haven't made the same mistake that they did on their first defense, and that was not defending the point and then all dying in the lobby, not being able to get back and respawn for the defense on B. Now for Legacy, they can at least pose a defense on B. There's a self-destruct here for Mini. We've seen how impactful that can be. Nano Boost going to be there for Special Kid and a Riptire for Sleep Easy. It's definitely winnable here, but still, for both teams, it's winnable.
Oh, Riptire from Sleep Easy. It's going to go down. Big plays from Caramel Koala. Maybe that's going to be enough. Self-destruct on defense. Finds Thunder Kitty. Finds Sleep Easy. Big plays from Crimson Wolf. Kraken with the advantage now. This might be enough from them. Q comes through, not going to find the kills that they want there.
Legacy need to hold on long enough to get this one to overtime, otherwise Kraken will have another attempt on the attack. I don't know that Legacy's going to be able to hold on for another 40 seconds. They'll have to swap over to those stall heroes. Addy already onto the Doomfist, we can see that. Cinderella up to 71% of the Primal Rage, if he can get that one off, is going to be super impactful. And still, not one tick picked up by Kraken. They're not being able to kill Legacy fast enough.
And Cinderella has the Primal Rage. This is now going to be very tough. At least Denchu's managed to get another Coalescence during this fight. That's 2 from 2. Nice work.
14 seconds.
Now going to Kraken. Legacy going to one trip onto the point. Special Kid still alive. Surely Special Kid goes down here. No, they haven't even got that 1
5 seconds.
It's going to be overtime, Jordan.
They're not going to cap in regular time. It's going to be an overtime cap, and that means it's going to be a draw out here for Legacy.
And that puts Legacy in the lead. Done. Dusted. Simple. Still going through. That's even if they manage to capture it at all. They've got the ultimates to work with, Jordan.
Whose mines are they? That's a Go's mines.
Yeah.
It's the attacking mines from Kraken, and that will be the end of Addy. But Legacy have held on long enough. And from now, it is just a sense of really playing with Kraken.
Look, Kraken should be able to get this across the line, and they will be able to do it in overtime here, Jordan. I think that's the third Coalescence, by the way, coming out from Dench in the space of like 90 seconds or something incredible.
Oh, Mini does get the DMAC.
Oh, no. Back. How is this even possible?
Are they going to win the map?
This does not even make sense.
Legacy.
Absolutely insane. Kraken so close. We said it was going to be a draw. But it is not. Legacy come through on Horizon Lunar Colony and do so in style. Kraken unable to close it out.
I had already written down on my sheet of paper, I have this to track all the maps. I had already written down that they'd capped out 2 points in that overtime, but
look,
have to scribble it out.
No.
You
can't deal with that.
I've seen this movie before.
You can't deal with that.
I've seen that movie before.
Oh, wow. Like, honestly, Jordan, honestly, the fact that Legacy won that, considering that they had so long they needed to defend those 2 points.
Yeah.
I don't even. All on the back. We have to go all the way back. Mini self-destruct.
Yep. And it was a mini self-destruct as well at the defense there for Legacy that actually sort of turned the tide because it did get the D-Mech, forced everyone away, and Legacy then able to win off the back of that. I mean, it's unbearable how strong these self-destructs have been from Mini, not only throughout this season, but even last season. I think this season, definitely Mini's been a lot more consistent, but last season, even, you still started to see those flashes of brilliance out from Mini. But for Legacy, that's 3 maps on the board now. That's the Series 1 over Kraken.
Congratulations.
A much better performance today out from Legacy.
Yep, these are the fights that last season the Legacy roster of old would not have won.
No.
When it was really tough, when it was down to the finest details, 1 or 2%, unfortunately, they would usually fall short. But today, that hasn't been the case.
No, definitely not. I mean, great stuff for Legacy. You can't be disappointed by that. But now it's a case of closing the series out.
Yep.
You've got 3 maps on the board. Obviously, they weren't able to pick up a map last week against Atletico. But if they can bounce back now with a 4-0, that's going to be doing wonders for their map win-loss. Already, a win over Kraken is phenomenal because it now puts them in a position to probably take that 4th position, assuming they can get the win over Mindfreak, which for a team of Legacy's caliber, with players that have played in Contenders before, it should be doable. And I think going into that match, they should probably be favorites as well. So for Legacy, now with that win, it should be smooth sailing for the rest of the season, at least in terms of the top 4, at least to be able to stay into playoffs.
That's a big call.
To be able to get further than that, I think is a real tough ask, and I actually think it's probably almost impossible for Legacy to get a placing better than 4th. But if they can beat Mindfreak, they should secure themselves 4th place. At least. At least.
And the thing is, Jordan, we're not just playing for Season 3. We're playing for Season 1 2019 as well. There will be changes. We're not going to be sitting on as many teams. There will... someone's going to miss out.
Well, that's right. If you want to make it through to next season without having to play through trials, you have to make it to playoffs.
Yep.
Top 6 go through, but then there's still obviously the question mark of who that top 6 is going to be. For now, we're moving over onto Route 66. And that, of course, is going to be the choice of Kraken. We saw Route 66 for Legacy last week. They did not manage to get the win over Atletico.
No.
But perhaps they will be posting a win on the board today.
Well, I do need to apologise for Legacy, or to Legacy for doubting them. Because I did say they would lose 3-1.
Yeah.
But they have looked quite good today. This is a different Legacy, though, Jordan. I guess this is our first real opportunity to see how they came out up against a team of probably equal skills.
I think, I mean, at this point, you'd put Kraken's individual players on an equal level as the individual players of Legacy. Most of them didn't make top 8 last season, the same for Legacy. You got a couple spattered in there for both sides that were in top 8 teams, but no one able to get through to the top 4, for example. So just by looking at the histories, the resumes for both teams, as far as the individuals are concerned, they're fairly similar.
Look at them lurking in the carriage here, Jordan. This is why...
That's why you take
Sonic Carroll to see whether there's anyone in there or not. Hello? You just knock on the door.
Oh, Kraken are going to go all the way up the carriage as well. They're going to do the roundabout. This is really nice, actually, for Kraken because it allows Dench to sit on the high ground. And what can Legacy do about Dench right now? The answer is absolutely nothing. They don't have the Winston to dive in, so they have to take a disadvantageous fight right now.
Definitely less than ideal. We'll see who comes out with the first pick, and it's going to be Dench. Cinderella going down.
Dench is just dropping bombs on Legacy right now. Sitting on that high ground, completely uncontested.
Yeah, living the dream, Jordan.
It is the Zenyatta dream. That said, Addy's building up a grab very quickly here and might be able to turn the tides if he does throw that one out, especially now that Legabril has gone down. Somehow Legacy are winning this fight.
Cannot believe that Addy's already at 100% energy as well.
Addy's popping off, dude.
Yeah.
Addy is a machine.
Big Zarya plays, that is for sure.
Yeah, that was massive from Addy, just being able to put out so much damage and now has got that grab. Of course, nothing else to really combo with it for Legacy, but at this point, the grab might be enough. Sound barrier to be forced out perhaps from Kraken, or just the fight lost. Yeah,
it looks like the fight's going to go down very, very quickly there, but 2 players, Dench not going to get the free reign that we saw from him before. Cinderella now does have that Earth Shatter available.
Well, Kraken just happy to take the L there. They're not going to try and commit to that fight. They're not dropping the sound barrier. They say we can respawn fast enough, but that last fight, that's allowed the Earth Shatter to come up, the trance, the sound barrier for Legacy, Mini with a self-destruct. The going gets even more tough for Kraken from this point on.
Look, Jordan, Legacy just sitting here in this train carriage. It reminds me of having cichlids that come out from their little hidey cave in their fish tank. They fight each other and they dive back in, and that's what they're doing here. Very easy fight so far. It has been for Legacy. We'll see now if this plays out differently. Oh, off the edge did they go?
Yes, they did, both of them.
Well,
Cinderella got a kill with the Fire Strike?
Look, whatever. I'll take it, Jordan, whatever it is. It's impressive either way. I think, is it the charge even?
I don't know. One for one, though.
Yeah.
End of the day for Legacy in that respect, but Kraken winning the rest of the battle. We saw, obviously, the Earth Shatter go down from Cinderella. The combo with Sloop Easy not quite perfectly timed. There was a bubble out from Caramel Koala as well onto Legabrill, so Kraken didn't suffer too much from the Earth Shatter, or anything at all, really. So it was a wasted ultimate there for Cinderella, but a very, very nice defensive setup initially for Legacy. They've bought themselves quite a lot of time. They'll be able to get back for a second attempt here, this time again with Addy having a grab available.
Yeah, it's actually worked
out.
No
defensive ultimate for
Kraken
either.
A lot better than probably would have anticipated, that is for sure. And Cinderella right into the thick of things there. Going to need to use... Oh, I was going to say going to need to use the shield, but goes down to the Brigitte.
Yeah, a little bit of over-eager grab out from Addy this time.
Yeah.
There was no players in position to follow up on it. Legabrill very, very low here. Will, in the end, go down to Thunder Kitty. That might be enough for Legacy to stabilize, but the next kill needs to go their way. It's a trade. Dench for Thunder Kitty. 2 healers down. Sleep Easy, or rather Special Kid still alive.
Brigitte right up into the thing. Go doing all of the work, but Special Kid will be forced
Shatter here for Cinderella.
To pop the Transcendent. Cinderella does have the Earth Shatter available. Is this the time to use it? How long does Cinderella need to wait? Throws it out. And yeah, that was definitely not the crucial Earth Shatter that they were looking for. But Kraken will be able to get a bit of a wriggle on, get a move. The payload continues along its path, just in the nick of time, just before overtime.
Might actually go into overtime before the cap does come across. But not going to matter too much.
No.
As the cap will be secured. So far, the Earth Shatters haven't connected from Cinderella. Addy had one decent grab and one pretty bad grab.
Yeah.
So those big power plays out for Legacy haven't necessarily worked, but their general teamwork and coordination has definitely been better than Kraken. That's why they hold for so long. Somebody's grab got eaten.
Oh, nom 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 nom. See you later. Yeah, Addy's has lost, unfortunately. And Addy goes down as well. Cinderella into the thick of things, picked up very, very quickly. This is a pretty good situation now for Kraken. They're getting the picks. They're holding on to their ultimates as well. Mini should go down here. The D-Mech will come out, coming through from that charge. And now look at this, Kraken in prime position. The payload will continue, and they are going to push forward and try and maybe find themselves a bit of a better spot to take this fight.
Yeah, I think for Addy and Cinderella, they just need to slow down a little bit. These big ultimates that they haven't really had the impact so far. So I want to see a good Earth Shatter out from Cinderella here, or at least one that connects onto a few players. Has to deal with Legabrill as well, though, who does have that ever-present threat of an Earth Shatter of his own.
Throws it right underneath the payload, Jordan. They weren't expecting that potentially. Unfortunately, only manages to catch the Zen, who's in the middle of a trance, but it does not matter. Kraken finding the picks. The payload continues, 110 on the clock. And now, Legacy are going to struggle to find another fight before the payload gets through. They'll have like half a chance.
Yeah, it was a pretty huge body block from Special Kid to keep Sleep Easy alive, but in the end, not going to be enough to win the fight for Legacy. Kraken should go through uncontested into the third phase of the map. Legacy will post a forward defense, but not on point B. 2 minutes 14, not a lot of time though to play with heading into point C.
Yeah, we have seen a number of these third final phases go all the way to the wire, Jordan, and be unsuccessful. So we'll see what Kraken can do. Certainly will not help that Caramel Koala is the first one to go down. They'll need to drop back. I think try and do it without giving too much away here to Legacy, who are starting to build up a little bit of ultimate charge for themselves. If Kraken can hold on to their ultimates, the thing is it's still not enough to get them all the way through. It's only going to get them halfway. So they either need to be a little bit frugal here, or they're going to need to build them all up again.
Yeah, Addy does have another grab here. Let's see if he's going to be able to connect this time. Not throwing it out, doesn't need it by the looks of things. Special Kid starting off nicely as the Brigitte will be dropped. There is a Transcendence to keep Kraken alive here, but they're also holding on to that. Cinderella getting low.
Yeah.
Still surviving, though. Good work from the Legacy healers.
Addy at 100% energy once again.
That's a much better hold.
Serious laser. Yeah, it's been actually quite difficult for Kraken to get in and around that payload. You can see it's blocking the door. Maybe they're better off moving around the side, not trying to push that same area again. It hasn't worked for them so far. Nope, they're going to go straight back at it. Into the point they go, and that is a fantastic Earth Shatter saved, perhaps only there by a very good Graviton Surge in response.
Not enough from Legacy. The Grav combo a little bit too late. And the self-destruct blocked easily by Kraken. So now it relies on Special Kid and Sleep Easy with the rally and Transcendence. But a lot for Kraken here. Nothing can stop that the self-destruct combo.
Yeah. Well, Cinderella ready to go. Holds up the shield, but you can see not in a very good position. Legabril going to go down there. Sleep Easy finding that kill. And Kraken with a shot now to push this further. We're hitting into overtime. Caramel Koala down. Crimson Wolf demeched as well. Legacy coming through. Why win any of the other fights, Jordan, when you can just win the one in overtime?
Exactly. This is the one that really matters at the end of the day. It's going to be the nail in the head for Kraken. Cinderella finally getting a good Earth Shatter off. And I think for Cinderella, he'd be thinking to himself, why couldn't I do that on the first point?
Yeah.
But it's not so easy. Being a main tank, you can definitely sympathize.
Well, literally, that entire attacking phase, or I suppose defensive phase there for Legacy, comes down to the fact that they wasted a couple of minutes for Kraken on the very first point. They couldn't even get onto the payload.
Yeah.
And when it came to the third phase, when it came to Objective C, there just was not enough time for Kraken to make it work.
That's super achievable for Legacy as well. You know, that's not even halfway up through point C. You didn't even really get close to the finishing off the map there as Kraken. And Legacy have always shown a bit more of a strength on the attack than they have on the defense. I think even what we saw on Horizon Lunar Colony will continue to build that trend for Legacy. The attacking side, better for them than the defending side. I definitely think that Legacy in a real pole position actually to close this one out 4-0 right now. Kraken, interested to see what kind of a defensive setup they are going to be running as well. Obviously, it's pretty much the exact same thing in terms of the roster combination as what Legacy did, but where their positioning is going to be still remains to be seen. A bit more dive-oriented for Legacy, at least to start things off. Cinderella with the Winston shows us that much.
We'll see what they choose to play. If they can get that momentum building, there is serious potential here for Legacy to take this in quite a quick time. It is a very doable result. 46.2 meters heading towards Objective C is not that far at all. Most teams get at least that far here. So Kraken are going to need to find a point that's not this one to see if they can get it across the line.
Not sure what Thunder Kitty's trying to do there.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure.
I don't think Legacy knew what Thunder Kitty was trying to do there.
Hey guys, what we're going to do is we're going to do the strat that's the thing.
That's
where
like
they
literally
do the stuff.
Yeah. That's what happens when you get a sim in ranked. Like, okay guys, we're going to do this. Then they put the telly down and literally no one follows.
See Sleep Easy holding absolutely in the furthest place possible.
It's not always ideal to be that far away on Bastion. You want to be a little closer.
Yeah.
Because Bastion doesn't have the greatest of spread when it comes to firing long distance.
It's not great, and to be fair, it's not really going that well right now for Legacy.
No, definitely not. Let's see if they can make it work. It's a matter of time, right? That's what they got to be thinking.
I think we see more Bastion today than all of last season.
Yeah, we might have. I'm not a big fan of Bastion on Route 66. Lost a rank game because someone thought Bastion when we had a 2-minute advantage.
Here we go, Nano boosted Bastion. If anything's going to work, it's this one.
Not this time by the looks of things. Here comes the tank form. Might be absolutely decimated by Crimson Wolf.
And that, boys and girls...
I think that's fitting, right?
Yeah.
Just swap. That's what you'd be saying right now.
All right.
Just swap. Stop throwing my game.
If I was playing with Mel, she'd still be on Bastion, though.
Yeah, and you'd be raging.
And I would be very mad right about now.
Yeah, I would definitely be raging as well. Luckily,
anyway,
Sleep Easy has swapped off.
Sleep Easy has swapped off. He's given up on the Bastion strat.
I don't think you can be memeing around at this point as Legacy. You know, you still need to be getting as many maps on the board, so don't throw this map away. Obviously, that's not a super serious strategy, playing Bastion like that. But I don't think they're in a position that's so stable that they can afford that.
That is a very nice grab. Followed up with a lot of damage from Kraken. Easily deals with Legacy. And look, we did say, Jordan, if Kraken were going to win Route 66, they probably couldn't do it at Objective C. They needed to do it somewhere further along the line.
Well, it seems like Legacy have taken their foot off the pedal just a little bit here. Cinderella popping Primal Rage, trying to knock them off. Needs to get himself to safety, though, as he is quite low indeed. Special Kid finding Dench.
Oh, look at this. A Graviton Surge coming out now from Legacy. Can they follow up with the damage, Jordan? At the moment, the answer is no. Crimson Wolf will get DMEC, but finally, Legacy are finding some kills. They're only 8.5 meters down the track right now. They need to get this payload moving. Literally sitting in the middle of Sydney traffic here. No one's going anywhere on Parramatta Road.
Special Kid just kicking in the face of danger there as Reinhardt gets booped right into his face. I think it was Mini that pushed him on forward. And he's like swinging away. Special Kid's a one-shot and he just kicks Reinhardt. Like, what's that going to do, mate?
Yeah.
Luckily, he did survive. Kraken will be able to post another defense here, though. Around the back of Big Earls.
That's where they go, back onto the payload, and Legacy are going to have to fight it out. Supportive ultimates of both sides will keep this fight lasting just that little bit longer. Everyone's still alive, but Addy getting low, getting the heals. But it looks to me like maybe Kraken are getting the better of Legacy here. Addy's so low, stays low again. Great healing, but unfortunately, it will not last long enough. Cinderella brings it back, picks up Dench. It's a 1-for-1 trade.
Special Kid wants this trance so bad.
There we go. Pops it out. Crucial timing coming out from Special Kid to keep this one going. But will the payload keep going? That's the real question.
Looks like it will. Cinderella gets Lego Brill, and that should be the floodgates now for Legacy as they will dispatch of Kraken. Not much better timing here from Legacy. I mean, actually worse timing, technically, than what Kraken was able to achieve, but it's not going to cost them much time. It
will not make any difference at all. It'll be into overtime heading in to Objective A. They're going to have the same time now that Kraken had to make it through this second phase. Kraken were pretty successful when they gave it a go. Legacy have been a little bit less convincing, though, Jordan, on attack.
A little bit. But to be fair, they did sort of throw themselves under the bus a little bit with the with the Bastion strategy. Gave Kraken quite a lot of ult advantage. Legacy eventually had to swap and were at a disadvantage. But now it's sort of back to even kilter. In fact, Legacy slightly ahead. Kraken trying to pose a defense early on to force some of the ults out.
Yeah, Sound Barrier will come through. Earth Shatter as well, but doesn't really seem to have the impact that they needed. But it's Crimson Wolf who finds Sleep Easy, grabs Surge, self-destruct all the way on the top of the payload. Even with a Winston and Primal Rage just slapping away at everyone on top as well. But really, not that much comes of it. Legacy getting pushed back by Kraken, who will manage to slow this down, Jordan. They're going to be on top of the payload. They're going to be here with ultimates. They're going to here with the advantage. And now only 90 seconds for Legacy to work with.
That's a huge hold from Kraken, as it puts really nothing in the bank left for Legacy now. You're looking at the ultimates that they've got available, Trance and a Rally. It's not going to be what they need to be able to punch through Kraken's defense. They need the big combos.
Double Rally Earth Shatter available. This one hits, though. The Trance might be enough to hold them back. Captures. Oh, I'm not sure whether that's good or bad, to be perfectly honest.
It means someone else didn't get pinned.
Yeah. Look, again, everyone's still alive here, Jordan. These fights go forever when goats are involved. Cinderella down to the Brigida. Kraken once again getting the first, then the second pick. Mini D-Mech. And they're going to hold once again now with 40 seconds on the clock. And Legacy are in a world of hurt.
They certainly are. Addy and Mini so critical in the next fight right now for Legacy. Same can really be said for Kraken, though, as Caramel Koala has his own grab. Who can get the first grab off? Who can be able to have more impact on their grab? At this point, you'd have to favor Kraken. Legacy the ones under pressure, so they're the ones that are going to be making mistakes easier. And Caramel Koala can just sit in a corner. Look at this.
Straight underneath. That's a great Graviton Surge. Can they follow up with damage is the real question. Self-destruct comes through. The shield goes up. No one goes down. Earth Shatter's still available, but wants to hold it for the right time. Can't afford to go down. Does go down. Big pick from Mini once again. When Legacy calls, Mini is there to help.
Yeah, I think maybe Addy's grab got eaten as well by Crimson Wolf in all of that, but it's not going to matter in the end as Kraken will lose the fight. Beauty is, though, for Kraken, because they posted such a forward defense, it's going to take so long for Legacy to get around this bend, and that's why teams fight there on the defense. That's why you want to take that early fight, because even if you lose it, you still waste so much time of the attackers that you're going to be able to post your real, proper defense before point B is captured up here. Kraken going to be coming in with an Earth Shatter, with a Self-Destruct, with a Sound Barrier. It's really on Cinderella versus Legabriel right now. Who can get their Shatter down first? And again, who can have more impact with their ultimate?
They're waiting, lurking, and oh my goodness, his payload takes so long to get around the corner. Who's going to get the better Earth Shatter? That's the real question here, Jordan. Legabriel just waiting, as is Cinderella. Earth Shatter not going to do what it needs to do. Yeah. Here we go, throws it out. I'm not even sure who they captured there. Maybe just...
Hello.
I don't even see where that came from, but it doesn't even matter. Crimson Wolf with a perfect self-destruct will find Kraken a win here on Route 66. 3-1. I said, Jordan, that was going to be the score. Yeah. I just got the teams wrong.
Yeah, wrong way around, Ben. But in the end of the day, Legacy will be happy with the 3-1. I think they probably could have tried a little bit harder there on their final map, to be honest. But 3-1 is good enough. Like I said, it might actually be enough to secure them 4th place if they can beat Mind Freak later on down the track, which definitely is achievable for Legacy. That will be quite an interesting matchup when we do get to it. Across the board today, Legacy looked really, really solid. They seemed to work very well as a team. Their communication seemed on point. Big individual plays out from, I mean, we saw it a lot from Mini, of course, with the self-destructs, but Addy had some great grabs. By and large, I think across the board, things are looking really, really good for Legacy. So definitely a great turnaround from last week where they looked a little bit shaky against Atletico. Some moments were good, some moments were bad. Today, I would say 75% of the time, 80% of the time, Legacy looked like the better team. And that's going to result in a 3-1 victory. Yeah,
that'll do it for sure. It almost precisely works out percentage-wise, Jordan. And Legacy going to be very happy with that. Unfortunately for Kraken, not the start they wanted coming into the season. It's going to be tough for them from here on out to make their way into the top 4 in this group. There are so many strong teams, not having gone up against the Drop Bears either. So, you know, from here on out, it's all uphill. Yeah, it definitely is. They still have to go up against Atletico and Drop Bears. They should get a win over Mind Freak, but one win over Mind Freak probably is not going to be enough. All in all, pretty interesting day today. You know, the results that we saw from obviously that match there, Legacy beating Kraken, not what we expected personally. Atletico dropping a map to Mind Freak again, pretty surprising. But all in all, it's been a pretty fun week so far of Contenders, I think. Like, last week was a decent start, but I think week 2 definitely has upped the ante a little bit. It has indeed, and we're only halfway through. Tomorrow's Group B, we thought Group B was probably the closer group, but some of those results today, you know, particularly Mind Freak up against Atletico, like that was pretty crazy considering, yeah, Mind Freak didn't win. They picked up Ilios, and they had an opportunity, a couple of opportunities actually, to bring it through. This one, however, it's a 3-1 to Legacy, and definitely the start to the season that they were chasing. A start to the season that we haven't probably seen from them in a while, or maybe even before. So yeah, I don't know still whether or not this Legacy is going to reach the same sort of heights, I would say, as what Season 1 Legacy did. Obviously, again, Season 1 Legacy, they made playoffs and got knocked out there. Same for Season 2. But I think so far, Season 1 iteration of Legacy was the one that we had the most hope for, the one that seemed like it had the most potential. This roster, yeah, it looks good at the moment, but how far can they go? Can they get to playoffs? I think that they probably can. But I don't necessarily see it going much further than that for Legacy. So, again, they're sort of in that build phase, I think, which has been where Legacy as an organization in Overwatch, as far as Contenders is concerned, has perpetually been stuck. They've always been trying to build their roster, and every season something kind of comes back to knock them down. So let's see whether this Legacy roster is going to be the one that goes further and above and beyond the rest. Well, trees grow slowly, Jordan, but when they get there in the end, they're big and they're strong. We'll see how they go across the rest of the season. But now it's time for our Macca's play of the game. A McDonald's Australia player of the game, it's Kraken up against Legacy, and this is Thunder Kitty. This is a support. This is a Lucio with some very cool plays.
Yeah, you got to get that support love in there a little bit. 3 kills for Thunder Kitty, finishing things off quite nicely. Obviously, the boop onto a go, the most impactful of these kills, but really doing quite a bit of damage there to Leverett. 28, not too bad. Chiming in with 20 onto Dench as well. So at least contributing quite significantly to those kills as well. It's not just like finishing things off a little bit, but nicely done there from Thunder Kitty. I got to say, you'd be disappointed, of course, there if you're Mini not being able to get the
Hash
play.
Brown goes to Mini as well because, you know, a number of great plays really got Legacy out of a bit of trouble there time and time again. So congratulations.
The Diva Bomb on Hanamura, I think, would have been number 2 or at least equal number 1 in my eyes. But end of the day, only one person can win the Macca's Player of the Game. That's why it is such a coveted trophy.